Meghan Markle's American Riviera orchard has suffered yet another setback just 5 months after its disastrous soft launch. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This is what happens when you surround yourself with yes people and you try to cut corners. In today's video, we're going to break down what is going on with American Riviera Orchard Trademarks and my predictions for her brand. You guys, we have a lot of juicy Royal Daily Tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. Hello and welcome to the Royal Daily Tea. If you're new here, hi, my name is Michelle and we discuss all things royal with a side of facts and humor. I also have another YouTube channel, Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion, where we discuss royals from around the world, fashion, and other interesting topics. So if you'd like to check out my other YouTube channel, be sure to check out the link listed in the description. Now we just hit 36,000 subscribers and we are well on our way to hitting my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you like today's content and you have not yet subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Now let's get into today's video. So I have covered American Riviera Orchard videos several times here on my channel. I've actually created a playlist if you would like to go back and watch some of my previous videos. Now, just to let you know, I actually do have a real background in business. I have a master's in business administration. I've run several online businesses. I've helped other people start online businesses. I also have owned 2 trademarks and a copyright. So I do have some experience in this area. So we all know that Meghan Markle launched American Riviera Orchard in March with a lot of fanfare and no products. It was a lot of wah wah. I mean, talk about the worst soft launch I have ever seen. Normally, when you do a launch, you want to get people excited and you want to give people a sneak peek of what is to come. But instead, we got a really scary ring-style video that scared people more than it excited people. It was very confusing. What the heck is American Riviera Orchard? The only way we actually figured out what Meghan was up to was when we looked at her trademark filings. There we saw she was trying to launch everything but the kitchen sink, a new lifestyle brand, anywhere from dog treats to yoga mats to cooking books to wine. And we all know her infamous 50 jars of her janky jam. And to this day, we've only seen about 10 in circulation. So again, Meghan has not done herself any favors. You don't want to keep your fans waiting to where your Instagram and your waiting list on your website is collecting dust. You need to strike while the iron is hot. And right now it is done and dusted just in time for Halloween for Meghan Markle to add American Riviera Orchard to her graveyard of broken, failed dreams. Just like archetypes and just like Pearl. She's getting ready, y'all, to have a fresh new grave. Now, when you file a trademark, it is a very serious business. You're dealing with the government and you really do not have room for mistakes. They do not care who you are. If you don't do it correctly, your application gets rejected. And this is a very costly mistake, not only in money, but in time. It could take 12 to 18 months to get a fully intact trademark registered and approved. So the fact it's been 5 months and they're kind of being sent back to the drawing board, that is not a good sign. So Meghan, she's filing several different categories and classifications underneath her American Riviera orchard. When you have multiple products, every single product has to be in a different category and classification. You can't just say American Riviera Orchard, I own the trademark for everything that's named American Riviera Orchard. You literally have to do a separate application if you're doing makeup, or if you're doing clothing, if you're doing cookware, a cookbook, if you're doing dog treats, if you're doing wine, jam. Everything has to have its own classification. One would be for edibles, one would be for yoga mats, etc. So according to this record, they have over 10 applications, but apparently it was too vague. They misclassified some items and it was rejected. It was sent back for clarification. Now, according to the article, they're acting like it's no big deal. It happens all the time. There was a lot of irregularities in the application, but layman terms, she didn't do it correctly. It was rejected and sent back. That means they have to start over and they have to repay the fees. So I wouldn't say it's a minor mistake when your application is actually rejected. This is not the first time she's made major mistakes when trying to trademark something. When they tried to trademark Archwell Foundation, it was rejected for 3 reasons, and they're really embarrassingly sad. When you're doing an application for a trademark, you need to be very, very descriptive and very, very specific. There should never be a question what the trademark is for. So the very first reason why it was rejected, it was too vague. The second reason, again, this is embarrassing. They didn't pay the entire fee the first time they sent the application. Again, when you use people who aren't professionals, this is what happens. The third thing is they actually forgot to sign the application. Now, this is just embarrassing. It's unprofessional. Why Meghan Markle did not use a professional agency is beyond me. When I got my trademarks, I hired an agency who specifically does that for a living. That is the only thing that they do is file trademarks. Yes, I had to pay a little bit more money, but guess what? All of my trademarks and copyrights were done the first time. So the fact that someone like Meghan Markle, who has a ton of money, a ton of professionals, a ton of resources at her fingertips, keeps making these elementary embarrassing mistakes like not signing an application, not putting the correct money amount, making it too vague. You would think she would think, okay, let's hire an agency because my staff is too stupid to figure it out. But nope, she's trusting these people who made those mistakes on just one trademark application. Let's do 10 trademark applications because I trust everyone. Well, apparently they didn't get it right. They misclassified some of the items. They weren't enough details. They didn't have the correct category. I'm assuming they were trying to lump a lot of the products onto one application, and perhaps the office was like, nope, you need to separate and reclassify your items. This cost her around $11,000, you guys. That is just for the first round. So let's just say it might be costing her close to $20,000. Now, I am assuming these trademarks are for the United States. Now, if you talk about international trademarks, that's even more expensive. You have to file for each country. You have the United States, you have Great Britain, you have Canada, you have Australia, you have Europe, etc. Each one of those countries has their own classifications and their own applications. Owning a trademark is a very expensive business. But if you can at least get the trademark in America, that holds a lot of weight and makes the process easier when you do an international filing. Now, when you also file your trademark, you have to do what's called intent to use. Sometimes you even have to show a product sample. When I did mine, I had to show clothing and makeup and labels, as well as my website and a logo. So if you're having 10 different categories, you have to submit literally a sample for every single category in order to show intent to use. The reason why they do this is because the trademark office wants to make sure that you're not just taking out a whole bunch of bogus trademarks on a whole bunch of names to keep it and resell it. Just like when people buy a whole bunch of domains and then you could buy it from them for a huge amount of money. Example, Sussex.com, they paid upwards of $10,000 to a private person who owned Sussex.com, versus if they would have went to GoDaddy and if it was available, they would pay like $30. So the trademark office wants to make sure that you do in fact plan to use the name, you're doing it legally and correctly. After 10 years, you have to file an in-use application. You have to prove to them that you're still using the trademark. If not, you will lose your trademark and someone else can purchase it. Just like Meghan Markle renewed the TIG around the 10-year mark. She may not be using it, but she wants to make sure no one else can get it. So she actually had to file an in-use application, even though she's technically not using it. So again, the fact that Meghan Markle is having the same issue over and over again, it's really quite surprising. Now, according to sources out there, she still does not have a CEO to run American Riviera Orchard. Now, most recently, we did see Meghan Markle out there in the Hamptons, snuggling up with her brand new besties who have private jets, because we all know she's looking for investors. She's looking for connections because I think they're running out of cash. Now, according to Neil Sean, they have just completed her cooking show that they're trying to pitch for Netflix. He said the show is going to come out sometime in September. I don't think so, guys. There's absolutely no way that cooking show is coming out in September, because American Riviera Orchard is literally delayed for the third time. If you're going to release a cooking show, you're going to want to make sure you have a product to release with the cooking show. So when it comes to the launching of American Riviera Orchard, there was rumors it was going to come out in the spring. Then they said summertime. Well, here we are in early August. In my opinion, if they come out with a product, it's going to be a single product, maybe for the fall Christmas season. But the fact they don't have trademarks and they don't have a CEO and they don't have the proper funding, I would say American Riviera Orchard is going to be pushed back until 2025, much like her Archetype podcast with Lemonada. Something's telling me that 2025 isn't going to be another great year for Harry and Meghan. They have their Netflix contract, which is coming up for renewal in March of 2025. They have a lot riding on Harry's polo show and Meghan's cooking show. Not to mention, there's rumors that Netflix might have to help Meghan get American Riviera Orchard off the ground. In my opinion, I think everything is very, very shaky, and I don't have a lot of faith in the launch of her brand new company. So what do y'all think? Do you think Meghan Markle will launch a product for American Riviera Orchard by Christmas of this year, or do you believe it's also going to be pushed until 2025? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.